So the Ethereum co-founder, Vitalik Buterin, destroys 90% of his Shiba Inu holdings, almost half the coin circulation. Now, I thought this would be a pretty interesting story to go over because there's been a lot of hype about Shiba Inu, right? And the thing that worried me the most about when I first heard about this and I looked it up, I believe almost the trading volume or the coin market cap, like the market cap of it, was like over $1 trillion. Or like it was something insane. And the thing that worries me about this coin is that there's so many of this coin out there, and there's so many people going into this coin solely for the purpose of trying to make $1 million, right? Which is kind of crazy when you really think about it, but let's get into the story. And feel free to give your thoughts as to, are you bullish on Shiba Inu or are you bearish? But let's get into the story. So Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin burned 90% of his Shiba Inu holdings and will donate the remaining 10%, according to a note he left on an Ether transaction made on Sunday evening. Over 40% of the coin's total circulation have thereby been taken out of the market. Now, that's a little bit interesting. That might actually help the coin in a sense if it's completely taken out. But either way, it's still interesting. So burning and donating the coins was the only option, Buterin said, and he'd previously been given 50% of all Shiba Inu tokens by the coin's creators. It was the only way to avoid his transactions in Shiba Inu being interpreted as actions or indicators on his part, he said. Buterin also urged coin creators not to send large amounts of tokens to individuals or charities without their consent. I don't want to be a locus of power of that kind. Better to just print the coins into the hands of a worthy charity directly. Though do talk to them first, he wrote in his note. The burned coins have effectively been taken out of circulation, and burning a crypto token means sending it to a public address that is inaccessible, where it will then lay unused, because this is specifically for basically a charity. And more than 40% of Shiba Inu tokens have now been burned, which amounts to around 410 trillion coins worth around $7 billion. So Shiba Inu rose by over 40% to 0.00001953 after Buterin's statements. And based on CoinMarketCap data, the coin was last up 0.6% in the 24 hours to trading at 0.000161. That's a pretty decent increase. Now, SHIB is a small Dogecoin-inspired token that gained 1,000% last week. And its website describes it as an experiment in decentralized spontaneous community building. And Binance's Indian platform listed the SHIB coin late last week. So Buterin said he had not yet decided to which charity he would donate the remaining 10% of his Shiba Inu tokens. He said he wanted to support an organization that aimed to prevent large-scale loss of life in the long term, which is pretty cool, right, when you think about it? But oh man, can you imagine just like literally being given basically $7 billion? Like, what would you even do with that? Okay, so Buterin donated the Shiba Inu coins worth $1 billion to Crypto Relief, a crypto-based charity fund set up by Sandeep Nawal, co-founder of the Ethereum platform Polygon, to support India in its fight against a deadly wave of COVID-19. Buterin said he would not donate the remaining Shiba Inu tokens to the same fund, as it was important to think about the future. I've actually been impressed by how the dog token communities have treated their recent donations, and plenty of dog people have shown their generosity and their willingness to not just focus on their own profits, but also be interested in making the world as a whole better, Buterin said. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty interesting. But again, I have no clue what's going to happen with this coin. I mean, I don't even know if there's actually a decent chance of it actually getting to $1. I don't know if it's actually even a good or a high chance of it going to a penny. Because you got to think about it, right? Like it's not even worth a penny right now. It's worth below a penny. Now, some people might think that is perfectly fine. Some people might think like, you know what, screw it. I might just put some money into it and see what happens. And I can completely understand that, right? Like here's the thing, right? Not financial advice, but more for like entertainment and all that kind of stuff. If you have, well, I'll put it this way. If you're not living paycheck to paycheck, if you have mastered your money, right? So in the sense that if you have a good handle of your money, that you could designate some of your funds out of your paycheck per week as like a gamble, right? Like if you're someone who's already playing the lottery and you're not living paycheck to paycheck, you probably actually have a higher chance of making money with putting like $20 into this per week compared to a lottery ticket. So in that sense, if I were to choose, I would choose putting $20 into like a coin like this instead of like a local lottery, right? Or the national lottery, right? Which could be like Powerball or Mega Millions or all that kind of stuff, right? Because you have a higher chance of actually making some profit off of this. I'm not saying that that's a good idea. I'm just saying it's an option, right? Like if you are able to designate some money from your paycheck and just basically yellow it and basically like view it in a way where, okay, if I put $20 in here, I'm basically going to view it as that's an automatic loss of $20. And whatever happens to this coin happens, right? Like whatever happens in the next couple months or a year, go ahead. Let's see what happens, right? Because it's only $20 and you might be like, okay, $20 might turn into $40. That's be pretty cool. If $20 ended up turning into $21, that's still even cool, right? So it all depends on your risk tolerance. It all depends on what your current financial situation is. Now, if you're having troubles with mastering your money, I recommend you going down below and basically learning how to master your money. Because once you master your money, then you can actually go and do something like, you know, just tossing money in here just for the fun of it, right? You know, putting like, you know, a grain on black and potentially making like $1 million, right? Like this is what some people actually already did with the Shiba Inu coin and ended up becoming millionaires, right? There was like two brothers that basically just did it almost like as a joke and ended up becoming or basically making them multi-millionaires from this specific coin. Now, I'm not recommending this coin. I'm not saying that this coin is going to get to a cent or a dollar, right? This thing could crash, right? This is the thing that you got to understand with cryptocurrency, especially cryptocurrency that is so small cap, is that literally any media, any influence can truly influence the price of this product. You can see this with, you know, Dogecoin, with Elon Musk. Elon Musk completely basically controls the price of Dogecoin by simply his tweets. Like that's how crazy it actually is. So if you got some spare cash and you've mastered your money to the point where you could take the risk, I see no problem with it, just for a fun type of thing, see what happens. But if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you got to stay away from stuff like this, right? Because, you know, you need to get yourself in a position where you're able to take care of yourself financially so that you have the freedom to do what you want when opportunities go in front of your face and be like, okay, I could put at least something into that opportunity. Oh, I could put something into that. And maybe something will end up, you know, turning out to be amazing, right? Like, as an example, I remember seeing like a story or a video of this one guy who had basically this extra cash and basically was like a VC or like, an angel investor, like I forget which specific type of investor he was, but he had this extra cash that he could end up putting about $300,000 into Coinbase. And this is way before it was really worth much of anything, right? And guess what? As soon as Coinbase ended up, becoming public, the guy's net worth became like 1 point something billion dollars, right? And that's a crazy, crazy return. But he was at a point where he could do something like that, where he has that extra cash where he could, invest into a potential opportunity, which, Coinbase could have crashed. Coinbase could have never have actually been operating. Coinbase could have just been like a horrible product, but it ended up working out for him because he was able to do something when the opportunity came into his face, right? So that's something that you should always think about, is like, think about more so for the long term, but also get yourself into a position financially so that you can go and do things like this, right? Because I'm not saying that this will happen, but let's just say that you put like $20 into or a grand. Let's just say you put like a grand into Shiba Inu, right? And it gets up to like literally $1, right? I'm pretty certain you'll probably become a millionaire from that. At the current price and it goes to $1, you'd probably become a millionaire, I think, from like $1,000 investment. My math could be probably completely wrong, but only people that have the financial situation to have the freedom to do something like that, where they could just toss $1,000 on basically something that has really no proof of it potentially getting to $1, right? Like, those are the type of people that could do something like that, which most people are not in that situation. So you always gotta take care of yourself first so that you can have the freedom to do what you want to do, whether it be for fun or just to grow yourself financially, right? So just keep that in mind. If you have problems with mastering your money, if you're in like a high amount of debt or anything like that, make sure to go down below and learn how to master your money and get a hold of your money, so that you're not a slave to money, but you're making money work for you. And it's a very simple and a very easy to follow process to mastering your money that like literally anyone can do, right? Because there's people who are living paycheck to paycheck who are making $200,000 a year, and there's people who are living paycheck to paycheck only making $10,000 or $20,000 per year. So this thing can literally show anyone in a very simple and easy to understand way how people can actually master their money. So if you have problems with that, go down below and learn how to master your money, because you want to be able to have access and be able to do something when opportunities go by your face.